Welcome back to the Fanspeak Network. We are live. I'm your host, Brett Astaire. I'm joined today by Tyler Hicks. Tyler, we did the training camp drafts, but now we're in here. What's the official name of this draft? The NFL
Best Ball Millionaire spread.
$15 million millionaire. $2 million to first is now live. I'm excited to see you guys. What's up to my guy, Omega King, and the man with the glasses, Bindles. Good to see you guys. So, Tyler, we were kind of hurting for content the last couple of drafts, but we should have plenty of content today. I know we've discussed this a little bit before, but let's do it again. Your main takeaways of the draft. We'll let people load in here, and we're going to have some fun. What were your main takeaways from the draft?
Some of our favorite names we've been drafting that were rookies? I think we're going to be drafting a little bit more of them, and some of them I think we're going to be drafting less of. The likes of Jaden Higgins, love the situation he fell into in Houston.
Oh yeah,
but one situation I really hate: our guy Najee spread. They got a Mario Hampton to go with him. Tell me that doesn't just bury that backfield. Such a John Harbaugh thing to do, though. So. I see where the offense is going. It's tough. The tight end draft spots, I love the spot Loveland fell in. Hate the one Warren fell into. So be drafting a lot more Loveland than Warren. And then our guy, Fannin Jr., he ends up in Cleveland with Judkins, with Dylan Sampson, with Shedeur Sanders. I mean, there's a lot of rookies up there. And then Travis Hunter down in Jacksonville. I mean, I know we're only going to get half of his fantasy points because he's going to play defense, but he's going to be wide receiver too to Brian Thomas in a very good offense. Going to be an interesting setup.
Yeah, who's that Shedeur Sanders guy you're talking about? I haven't heard of him. Is he a good prospect?
I thought he was pretty good. Scouts on fall to the fifth.
I mean, the story of the draft, and it's too bad because it actually kind of overshadowed some of the more exciting and actually heartwarming stories there. So yeah, some interesting things. Obviously, like as a Raiders fan, I didn't want Genty just because what's the point of drafting a running back when your whole team sucks? But for fantasy, it's a great landing spot.
Yeah, just for instance, because you talked about running backs, like you drafted yours at 6. We drafted ours in the 4th round. I don't think Caleb Johnson's much worse than Genty. Like, don't get me wrong, Genty's a better player, but we waited 3 more rounds to get ours, and you guys drafted yours at 6.
And just like we drafted him at 6, how much better is he than Hampton? Is he that much better?
Yeah, how much better is he than Hampton? How much better is he than Judkins, Travion Henderson? Henderson falling into New England, I feel like that's a little bit of a weird spot, but him and Stevens should work well.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, Ramondre, it's going to be tough to draft him now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he went from a really high guy 2 years ago to not so much.
Our guy Restrepo goes undrafted, ends up in Tennessee with his boy Cam Ward.
That's so crazy.
They said if you can go back, we would never let him run the 40.
I guess so. So that's a pretty good landing spot there, I guess. Not a lot of target competition. Who else was there to talk about? McMillan, great landing spot, right? That had to up his stock.
Yeah, great landing spot. It felt like the most obvious landing spot, in my opinion.
I mean, he could have been pretty good for us. We obviously
I can't personally bet the draft in PA. He was 50-1 to go 8 spread, like the week of the draft. Yeah.
Why?
That's what I don't know. But I mean,
that's interesting.
I'm trying to think.
Let's talk about bad landing spots. How screwed? No, I think Luther Burden got a worse one.
Where Burden fell into, I'm looking at round 1. Let me get to round 2.
Chicago. He's on Chicago.
Do you really think that's that bad of a landing spot?
Yes.
They're not going to run the ball because everyone said they were drafting a running back, and guess what they didn't draft?
A running back.
Yeah. So
guess what button we're going to didn't get one later.
Guess what button we're going to start clicking a little bit more?
Don't tell me.
DeAndre Swift.
Oh, fuck me. We're going to pair him with Mark Andrews.
Yep. Another terrible landing spot. Emeka Ibuka. Landing in Tampa
for fantasy.
Bay.
Yeah,
It's
I think
just
that was pretty bad too.
Terrible setup spot there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of some other guys. A lot of stuff was more on defense for me.
You know who's someone that we didn't draft at all that might be viable now?
Who's that?
Excuse me. Shuck. They went to the Saints.
I'm not touching him.
Bro, he might end up starting like 10 games.
Yeah, guess what? I said that about the Rat, and he sucked. So, have you watched Tyler Spread? Just look up Tyler Shaw's throw at the Combine and tell me you want to draft that guy.
I don't want to draft him.
I wouldn't touch him.
Whose was worse, him or who was the other guy that had?
I think a name
was it Will Howard.
I don't hate it for where we drafted him, but I don't think he's going to be good.
Who?
The Steelers. The Steelers drafted Will Howard.
I know. I kind of wanted him.
Like, I don't think he's going to be good, but I don't hate that where they drafted him at. A name I think we need to move up our boards is Trey Harris into that Chargers offense. Could be wide receiver too. Could run a lot of them.
Just like Latin Conkey last year, where it's just like, I don't really think he's that good a prospect, but boy, he's going to have every single target.
Well, he's going to be the bigger body receiver out there. I know they have Mike Williams back, but Mike Williams isn't going to last all year.
Yeah, so Trey Harris suck for 3 games.
Trey Harris is going to be their big body receiver while McConkey still runs the slot stuff. I'm going to be drafting more of him. Denver grabbing RJ Harvey as their running back.
Huge.
All over that.
I have a buddy who's not in on that. I'm like, how?
All over that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be so good. What are some other names? Our boy Fanning Jr. ends up on the Browns, gets to learn from Njoku, who's basically kind of like the same build as him. So,
yeah.
Get a little mentorship there. Jalen Noel was another Iowa State wide receiver that ended up in Houston. So they basically just drafted Iowa State's offense to pair with Nico Collins.
Right.
Caleb Johnson.
What about our guy that we drafted? Are you moving him up or down going to Las Vegas? Or bet?
I move him up a little bit because he wasn't very high on my board to start with. So I definitely got to move him up.
I think it's a pretty good landing spot, right? I mean, not a lot.
What do you think about the 2 receivers that landed in Green Bay, Golden and Savion Williams? It's just the game of where do they slot in.
Savion would only be like right at the very end if you already have Jordan Love. I think Golden could have a Jaden Reed type season.
Yeah, that's it. And that's the thing is I think he could do it. I think Savion Williams could also do it. I think that 4 of their receivers on their roster could do it. It's going to be they're just going to be the game of which guy slots in and has the hot hand in Green Bay.
Yeah. I think Golden will emerge as a clear number 2 behind Reed.
My worry though is Golden's just
statistical.
They kind of run these same kind of wide receivers out there. They're just fast, up and down the field wide receivers. He's just another one. Like that's my worry.
Right. Clyde, we're doing an NBA show later. We'll talk about that stuff later. We're gonna compartmentalize right now. We're only talking NFL. Clyde, tell me what you thought of your favorite team, the Kansas City Chiefs draft. Go ahead, Tyler.
I was gonna say Scatterbo to the Giants. What do you think about that?
I didn't love it. Did you?
I mean,
I was hoping he would go to a better team that had a better line.
Yeah, I don't like the offensive line he's playing behind because the kid's either going to be James Conner 2.0 or he's going to just be a concussion that is every other week. So I don't like him on the Giants really, but he's going to be playing from behind, so he does have the pass catching upside.
Mm-hmm. KC's first round pick was a offensive lineman that slid in the draft because of injuries, I believe. Steve, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty highly ranked, but I think he was hurt most of the year. All right, you want to jump in this draft and then we will continue this discussion?
Yeah, we could do that. Here, I'll start our little timer. We will enter in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Steve says that's the beauty of Scatterbo. He had a terrible O-line in college, so he's used to it. I didn't think they were that bad. And they said that about Shedeur Sanders, too.
Wait.
That's weird. Well, I'm glad we talked for 10 minutes then. Otherwise, we wouldn't have time. All right. Let's all right, guys. I'm gonna go full screen here for a couple seconds. Let me look through how they've changed.
Nothing.
They haven't.
Nothing's changed in the
top.
top.
Genty's way up. Genty was 12 before.
Yeah, he's moved up a couple spots.
Keep scrolling. Henry's down to 12.
McConkey backed up a little bit.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of held pat. Hampton has moved way up.
Hunter moved way up too because they've announced that he's going to be pretty full-time wide receiver. So, hey, we got to give Stephen Meg credit, right? Remember we were scared of him and they were saying go for him?
McMillan's moved up.
There. Yeah, he's moved up, rightfully so.
RJ Harvey, way up.
Do you think that's too high?
That is really far. Ahead of James Conner, ahead of David Montgomery. That's really high. Yeah. Caleb Johnson all the way up to 74.
Yeah, that makes sense, right? Matthew Golden, where's he at? 82? He moved up, right?
He's at 82. He's moved up. Warren's 94. He's still in that
same range. He dropped. Oh, no, he's in the same range. He was in
94. Najee dropped like a rock. Yeah, Loveland came up.
Yeah.
Scatterville 101.
Loveland will be ahead of
Loveland's going to pass up Warren
by the end of this contest. Yeah.
Agreed.
Egbuka that high in that wide receiver room? I'm shocked.
Burden at 110. Jaden Higgins up to 115.
So Burden dropped. Higgins went up. Trey Harris went way up.
Stevenson dropped. Beach came up. Kirk went down.
Yeah, he came out.
We're scrolling back up to the top. We're getting close.
All right, what do we
want? Draft time. We're on the clock. We taking Bijan, CD, or
Bijan? Oh, that was a no-brainer, right?
I love when you throw out the name like it's a no-brainer when like you throw me curveballs all the time while we're drafting.
That's for the people watching the show.
My mouse just died.
All right, let's check the chat.
I gotta get my mouse plugged in. It died. Can't have that going.
Yeah, Felix missed it. You know, at least we won't get mad at each other. But yeah, dude, I don't know how we mistimed this today.
Well, it was because we clicked into the draft and it was full within a second.
Yeah, I know. Bad luck. All right. Sean Payton loves Harvey, but Steve says he would still take James Conner ahead of him.
I agree.
Okay. Meg says she loves Caleb Johnson's landing spot better on underdog than DK format, but I love him to Steelers. All right, fair enough. I would agree with that. Steve says he thinks that Mbuka's ADP will stabilize and then fall.
We're up in 2.
Meg says she's moving Lamb up in her rankings because no target competition arrived via the draft. That's a good answer. That's actually true.
Well,
I'm big on CD, especially in this full point PPR deal. Yeah. So, all right, where are we looking at here?
I'm not gonna do A-Chain.
Finally.
That's just that 2 running back combo PPR wise.
Yeah. All right, go to the draft board. Let's see where people have been going.
We're gonna be coming back around quick.
All right. Let's see. How'd that first round look? Not a lot of surprises, right?
No, I don't think there's any surprises. Maybe
Neighbors. To be fair, it doesn't look that much different. Brian Thomas dropped a little bit,
which makes sense. I mean, Hunter's going to be his 2.
I don't know if it does though. I almost think it helps to not have the whole defense just focusing on you. Like, I
No,
don't like
that
being the
is
third or
definitely
the fourth, like Mbuka or Burden.
yeah, but you
But
lose
when
some
you're
of the
all by
target share.
yourself,
He was the target share. This dude this draft. I mean, what is this?
that's weird. All right, good for him. All right, who are we looking at?
We need a. I say we got to get a
Miami
wide
stack.
receiver.
Miami stack.
I really he's so bad now.
So who do you want then?
I'd rather take Marv. I'd rather take Garrett.
We're not taking Marv over Tyreek Hill.
You act like Tyreek Hill's like young. Spread his games last year.
I'm fine. I'm fine if we don't take him. I'd rather take JSN. I'd rather take Garrett Wilson. I'd rather take Devontae or Mike Evans. Whoever you want, though. Just no. Let's not take Marv.
We'll go Miami correlation. We'll go Tyreek.
All right.
Hopefully McDaniel keeps that offense going.
So you don't think he's going to get traded after asking like 13 times?
They didn't trade him in the offseason, so. That still seems really high for Bowers.
It's way too high. It sucks. I mean, I want him. I'm going to end up with none of him. Just like Laporta last year, I had barely any. So I'm like, I'm not drafting him that high. I almost think, I'm wearing my Raiders sweatshirt.
Steve's with me. I would generally take Harrison over Hill. I think Harrison has a second-year breakout, and Hill is so volatile. I'm telling you, Spread, when Hill loses that step, his career's over, and he might have lost it last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Hopefully these guys in the draft just bless us with Marv on the turn.
We don't want Marv.
You're talking to a guy that said that dude sucked all last year, and now he's buying in on him in year 2.
Who's that, me?
Me.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm shocked.
Yeah, because now's the time we buy in, not when he's getting picked in the first round.
That's true. What was he going last year? Around 12? It was like Marvin Harrison, Drake London was the turn. Every turn team had Harrison and London. Who's your favorite team on the board so far?
Team 11's nice. I like that one. Henry and Cook.
I like 10 more.
McConkey and then Jaden Daniels.
I like 10 more.
Team 3, depending what they do with their next pick, has potential.
Team 3, yeah. Because each one of those players on Team 3 it would not be crazy if they were all number 1 at their position, right?
No,
like, would it be that crazy if Jonathan Taylor was RB1 this year? I don't think that's that crazy.
DJ
all right,
Moore.
who are we taking? Yeah, easy. I mean, I want to argue with you. This is too easy.
Get our real wide receiver 1.
Yeah. All right. After we pick one more time, I'll go back to the chat.
That's fine. There goes Hampton off the board. That next pick. See what Team 3 does. Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Josh Allen.
I mean, just from a fantasy perspective, wasn't that a bad landing spot for Hampton too, though?
Xavier Worthy. I feel like it is slightly a bad landing spot for Hampton.
Bro, imagine if he went to like Denver or Dallas or
that's the thing. If he'd have went to Denver, like you see how far RJ Harvey's draft position has come up. Yeah. Hampton might be in like round 2.
He would have been right next to Genty.
Right next to him. He would have been in round 2.
He would have been number 8.
I think he would have been behind Bucky Irving or right in front of him. He wouldn't have got in front of Jonathan Taylor, A-Chain, Jacobs, and probably not McCaffrey.
Yeah.
This draft's going to get canceled out. Look at this first team.
But it's weird, though, because his other 2 picks are good.
What is he doing? Just punting the running back position?
I don't know, but it's like, why would he be upset with his draft? Like, why would he,
2 quarterbacks, he just took Hurts.
Maybe he's just high as fuck. All right, here now, let's figure out, who do we want?
I think we need another wide receiver.
Yeah, I think so too.
Devontae, if he's there.
I want him again, but I guess.
Down for that?
Keep scrolling. Who else is there?
DK, Godwin, Rome, Waddle, Debo.
That's fine. Let's take Devontae. I don't really like this range unless we needed a running back.
That string of wide receivers kind of messed us up.
Yeah.
Just this whole round just being filled with wide receivers.
Yeah. Travis Hunter ahead of Rashee Rice. Who do you think will have a better year?
That's bold. I mean, Rashee Rice is still a wide receiver 1.
I mean, the only argument you'd have against
Travis Hunter in front of Mike Evans, Rashee Rice, and DJ Moore, I couldn't click that button. I might not even click Travis Hunter ahead of McMillan.
Well, I'll take Hunter over McMillan. Well, I don't know.
We're taking a wide receiver 2 over a 1.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, I hate wide receiver. I know
with Brian Thomas on the other side, and on the other side of McMillan's Adam Thielen.
But I almost think it's better to have a good wide receiver over there so you don't get attention from the opposing.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but like at the same time, Brian Thomas is going to eat in a lot of Travis Hunter's target share, to where McMillan's just going to take from Thielen and.
I mean, like Chase and Higgins didn't necessarily. I mean, they were both top guys, right? I mean. We took Devontae as a number 2. Like, he's been able to produce, even though he's a number 2. Like, my question, so this will be an interesting, we should research this. How many guys that are wide receiver 2 on the depth chart finished ahead of wide receiver 1s? Right? Because we know, like, being wide receiver 1 in New England last year was pointless. Right?
No, I agree.
Like, do you see what I'm saying?
Like,
so,
think about
like,
what we're
the Raiders wide receiver 1, you really want Jacoby Myers?
With the way he got targeted last year?
Devontae Smith or Travis Hunter. Like, even who's the Niners wide receiver 1? Jawan Jennings?
I think they're just a group at this point. It's probably still Ayuk.
Oh, yeah. I keep just assuming he's going to be traded. All right, here, let's get back to the board, and then I'm going to check the chat. Ooh, we got some options, Tyler. Can we take Judkins, please? Or Caleb Johnson?
I'll take Caleb.
Over Judkins, huh?
Just because Judkins has Samson back there too, and it's the Browns we're talking about.
Yeah, that's my concern, right? If we're going back to the old,
and me personally, I don't think Warren's a running back 1. So Johnson's sliding in.
Well, obviously, the Steelers don't think so either.
Yeah,
because Wait, what?
I was trying to click on Myers just to show you his target.
I was like,
10, 9, 5, 9, 10, 11, 15, 6, 7, 9, 10. Yeah, he was a target hog last year.
No, I'm not saying I'm just saying we'd rather have Devontae Smith rather than Jacoby Myers, right? Or Travis Hunter rather than Jacoby Myers, right?
No, I see what you're saying there, but like I'm probably taking McMillan over Travis Hunter.
I think it has a good argument. I mean, I think we'll be having that argument all summer.
I agree here too with our guy Andrew. He's saying Ford will play over Sampson. I could agree there. I can see Sampson being almost a gadget guy for the first year or two until a spot opens up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, who knows what's going on in that Cleveland organization, right?
Hold on, we got to pay attention. What's this guy drafting this time? Let's see. Okay, so
bad picks.
He woke up a little bit after the Miles Sanders and Khalil Herbert picks.
Yeah, what the fuck? That was weird. That's like when I started cussing.
I
on
don't
NBA
think
Renegade.
Miles Sanders is picking himself in the second round of a draft.
Yeah, that's wild. Bo Nix that high, huh? That guy was killing it up to that point too.
It's your boy.
All right, where are we going?
We are up in 1. It really doesn't matter to me. I'm down to take Olave if he's still on the board. I'm down to take Shakir, Myers. The way I would go, I'd go Olave, Myers, Shakir.
I will go Olave, Diggs, Myers.
Let's go
So Olave is our choice.
Yes.
And then that gives us something. All right, now I'm going to go check the chat. Sorry, guys, I had this full screened. All right. So, wait, hold on. I didn't get them all.
This is perfect. It's like the team in the first spot ordered running backs in reverse order to start.
Yeah.
I really want to know who he's picking in round 18 when he gets his stud running back that we don't know about.
Yeah, so Meg said these are fun PPR running backs. I agree. Great start. He said, I'm surprised Henry is still going. This is Steve. I'm surprised Henry is still going first on DK. Sure, he's not, gets the 100-yard bonus, but he's not a PPR running back. But he did go first.
First round.
Oh, you mean first round?
11. I mean, he still puts up ridiculous numbers, even without the PPR. Like, his lowest scoring game last season was an 11.
Yeah.
And that was that was in week 1, 13 carries, 46 yards, and a touchdown. His next lowest was, what is this? When he played the Steelers in a 16-18 loss in that weird game. And he had 11. Everything over that was 15 or higher.
That was a weird game, wasn't it? All right.
That was the game when they were getting interceptions with like one hand. Derrick Henry fumbled for the first time in like 3 years.
It wasn't TJ Watt in that game just doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, right. It was when the rookie linebacker caught the interception like over his head.
Yeah.
It was just one of those Mike Tomlin get lucky games.
Not get lucky, be a good coach and raise the level of your team through excellent teaching skills.
Just until he gets 9 wins and then that free trial runs out and then we get smashed.
Well, it's hard to win in the NFL without a quarterback.
On the bright side spread, with the 86 pick in this draft, 50 saved us from argument and he drafted Tyler Warren.
I told you I like that 11 squad.
All right, we're on the board. What are we thinking here? Do we want to take Caleb, pair him with DJ Moore, and then try and get Loveland on the turn?
Yeah, or we'll get DeAndre Swift.
I like the sound of that. I mean, I don't think Swift is.
He's right there.
Oh, there he is.
Like you said, we were kind of looking at the rookies, but he moved up.
Yeah,
because everyone mocked a running back to them.
They were supposed to get Genty, and if they weren't getting Genty, they were supposed to get Hampton or one of these other guys, and they just kept passing on them.
I mean, even if they would have got a guy like Caleb Johnson in the 3rd round, right? Or actually, they could have got him ahead of you because you guys got him in the 4th.
There goes Scatterbo. Yeah, we got him in the 4th. Loveland just went, damn.
Let's get DeAndre Swift in if we can. I don't think people are going to be lining up to take him. Or do we take Luther Burden?
Take Swift.
Okay. Dang, the way we built Loveland would have fit better, huh?
He'd have fit so good.
Yeah. We can grab Cole Kmet like 100 picks from now.
We can get him late, and plus there's other tight ends we can draft. Kincaid's still there.
I don't think tight end correlation is that important.
No. You get lucky and get the tight end that catches like 8 touchdowns in the year, you should be all right.
Yeah. I can't believe DeAndre Swift's ahead of Najee Harris.
So happens when Marion Hampton gets added to your backfield.
Yeah, and no one gets added to yours in Chicago. With an offensive coordinator that still likes to run the ball. You know what's kind of disappointing? So I was listening to draft coverage.
I wonder if he's going to use Swift, or there goes Swift, so we can't even draft him.
Oh shit!
Like,
all right, we gotta figure it out. No, let's go Evan Ingram. We need a tight end.
What about this guy at number 100?
No.
If Evan Ingram gets picked right here, we're taking Mark Andrews.
No, we're not. We're never.
Yep.
Why do we?
We're putting all. Okay, yeah. So you say.
Thank God. Oh,
there's no other tight ends we like, right?
We can grab Luther Burden though, if you want to do some correlation.
Yeah, let's do Luther Burden. Let's get a little correlation.
Luther Burden, dude. Who cares? We don't need Evan Ingram.
I think he's going to be really good. So he could just be another weapon for Caleb.
Yeah. All right, let's check on the chat. Okay. All right. So this is from Spunky. How much would you take Saquon after a huge 2024 workload? Tyler, I'll let you answer that question.
I'd still pick him. Like, I'm not going to pass on him. But I think his work does get dialed back.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to get dialed back in the way of, like, we're going to give Shipley some carries, or if they're going to have Hurts throw the ball more. There's just no way he takes that many carries again, you got to think, right?
You got to think.
Unless they're just going to run him into the dirt for the next 3 years and just try and get 3 rings out of him.
What do you think on this question from Clyde, Tyler? The over-under for 7 times a day that I argue with myself.
Now that you live in the woods, it's definitely over.
Over.
Can't argue with the trees.
Yeah. Puka Marvin was a 12. Well, yeah, that was last year. I got a lot of Drake Marvin too. Genty just went 103 in my draft. I took Bijan at 106. That's fantastic.
He's going to bounce anywhere from, I'd say, 1 to 7 in these drafts.
Yeah, whoever's in the number 1 spot. Yeah, he did what I did last night. I told you this already. St. Ides makes a weed drink.
What?
Needless to say, I missed the end of the Pistons game. Andrew says, hello, my friends. Happy best ball season. He thinks Ford will play over Sampson. Yeah, I think he could. Steve says it's weird because Henry's almost going 13 to 16 on underdog drafters. But I've said this before, Steve. This is the softest room. You know, it's just like, you know, you're over there playing poker with Doyle Brunson and Daniel Negreanu, right? And we're over here just living it up at the Tropicana with the tourists. What? Felix is waiting to draft Raji? Waiting to draft? I didn't know he was able to even do that.
He was probably just as devastated as I was on Thursday night when you heard Omarion Hampton's name.
Oh, yeah, I was too. And for me as a fan and for the fantasy. I mean,
when that pick came up, I thought for sure it was.
That's a good ass running back.
Omarion Hampton. I said, what?
Yeah, that team just gets better and better. All right, where are we going now?
Over.
We still don't have a tight end.
Still don't have a tight end.
We could get a backup quarterback.
Get our tight end with the next pick.
Yeah.
Jaden Higgins just wrong. Trey Harris is still there.
You want Trey Harris?
Let's get some Trey Harris. I'm never against an Ole Miss wide receiver.
Who's another one?
DK Metcalf, AJ Brown.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you knowing the college players. We're pretty quick, right? I don't have time to go to the chat.
We are
Go down. Let's plan our next pick.
We definitely want one of the tight ends. If it's not Kraft, Goddard, likely, we want one of the tight ends.
On the Rich Eisen show today, he called.
How about Terrence Ferguson coming all the way up?
Who the heck is that?
Jake Ferguson's brother. He played at Oregon.
Jake Ferguson on the Cowboys?
Yeah, it's his brother.
That's pretty cool to play the same position, right? If it's not Kraft, though, well, all right, fine. I don't care. You can draft likely. Let's just take Kyle Pitts, dude. Screw it.
See, here we go. Now we're veering off.
Kyle Pitts, the Noah Fant of ADL.
We had the good synergy going. We agreed on some picks.
Yeah,
and
we
then all
did.
of a sudden, spread just like
We
veers off
did.
to the left and goes, you know what? Let's just draft Kyle Pitts. Looks like that's what we're going to end up doing, too.
Felix says he was devastated and excited.
He played bad even with Penix in there, though. He's so bad.
He had one good game.
He does every year. He had some good games in here.
All right, so Steve thinks Kraft is a good pick in this range, but he's gone, right?
What do you think we're going to Pitts?
We're taking Pitts, bro.
Come on. Take him off the board for us. Be a good sport here. Somebody else has got to love this Kyle Pitts drug, right?
I don't mind taking likely, though, if you don't want Pitts, that's fine. I mean, you have no competition with Mark Andrews in the room, so.
We're unlikely. I can't bring myself to click on Pitts.
Fair enough.
He's so bad.
Dude, so you know what sucks? So I was trying to listen to some draft coverage today, but it's just like, first of all, like on these first rounders, right? We know half of them are going to bust, but we don't know who it is. So when you listen, especially these national pods, they love almost every single draft. Do you see what I'm saying? It's just like every team did good. When we know that's not the case, and I understand it's like hard to do, but it's kind of disappointing. I was kind of getting bored.
Our guy right here loved him some Kyle Pitts. He got him.
Who did? Let me pull that up. There's not a lot going on in our chat right now.
He's got Drake London, so he did a little correlation. I see why he did it. And he has Darnell Mooney.
So let's just take Penix and be a dick.
If he doesn't, he might take him in the 12th round. He picks before us.
We got Bijan. We can use Penix.
Look at Tootin adding himself to be RB3 in Jacksonville.
You remember when I kept telling you to draft him?
Yeah, and this is why we didn't, because now he gets to hold the water bottle for Tank Bigsby and Trevor Etienne.
No, Etienne's gone.
All right, so he gets to hold the water bottle for Tank Bigsby.
He's better than Tank. Oh, we should take Tua with our next
I don't hate
pick.
that.
Yeah, let's do that.
We could do that if he's there.
That sucks. We're going to leave him Jack back on the board. So we're starting a dynasty league. My buddy wants to have
right here
2 flex and a super flex. Jaden Blue. Is he related to Alfred Blue?
I don't know, but he did play the same position. Who else is going to play running back in Dallas? Miles Sanders, who the dude drafted in the second round of this draft?
Right. I mean, anytime you get Dallas the number 1 running back, you can't pass that up. Guys in the chat, for those of you who play Dynasty, is 2 flex and a super flex too much? I think it was. That's what my buddy wants to do.
I think that's way too much.
Yeah, I was saying 1 flex and a super flex. Otherwise,
even two flex.
Ajay Spears and freaking.
Yeah, you're fighting. Then you get nuked by a guy who's just like never in the game, and you're like, oh, of course he scores 2 touchdowns this week.
Yeah. Will Tua be there? Will Tua be there? Scroll up. Does anyone ahead of us have Jalen Waddle or whatever his name is? No, I don't think so. I think we should be good.
I don't even see where he came off the board at.
He went and
we're up anyway. I told you I'd do was taking Penix before we got a chance, so we're taking Tua. We've got our Miami stack.
I'm not a sniper like that.
I can't wait to be in first in this pod after like week 6, and then Miami's gonna have to go play in cold weather, and half our team.
Yeah, and we lose. Right? Yeah. Good point. We are not built for the playoffs. No, this is a better marathon team.
We gotta hope Atlanta pushes and Chicago is good.
Bro, Olave on the bench for wide receiver, dude. That's not bad.
It's not bad. 6 wide receivers already in the groups: Hill, DJ Moore, Devontae Smith, Olave, Burden, Trey Harris. That's not bad.
I like it. Is there any late Miami wide receivers we should be targeting to add with Tua?
Westbrook Akine, if you want them.
All right, who are we targeting next? Someone find.
I say we take Jaden Blue if he's there. We need another running back.
That's fine.
Because it'd be him or Tajay Spears, and I trust Jaden Blue a little bit more than Tajay Spears.
I mean, Tony Pollard looked better than Tajay Spears last year, right? You remember?
Yeah, and that's why it's like I don't trust anything in Dallas, so we just got to hope Jaden Blue can take everything over.
I'm fine with that. Oh, Kyle Williams, if we need a receiver, that's not a bad spot for him.
We got 6 of them already.
I know. I'm just pointing that out for people
Take
watching.
Jaden Blue just to get a running back. We only had 3.
That's a great line.
And our top 2 guys aren't the healthiest.
No. Well, Bijan's been pretty reliable, right?
Yeah, the A-Chain's been a little banged up. But, like, the way they play, like, would it surprise you if we're dealing with ankle injuries with those 2?
No, but. Bro, 159, your guy.
No. Where's the
For
guy?
those who aren't watching, it's Sam Darnold.
Where's he at? Right there, 255.
All right, I'm going to check the chat.
Mr. Milrow.
Good. Here's a good comment from Steve. An interesting thing for guys like Etienne Bigsby, Ramondre Gibson, and Jerome Ford is what happens if one of them gets dealt to like Dallas or Chicago. Yeah, but didn't we do that all last summer with Khalil Herbert?
Yeah, and then he finally got traded to Cincinnati, and he did nothing.
Yeah, but that is a good
He
point.
got traded to Cincinnati to hold Chase Brown's water bottle while Chase Brown took over the workload.
So, Main Mac, you're in. So, just the thing that I said, or 3 flex and a super flex, that would be crazy.
That'd be ridiculous.
Well, I should also say it's a 12-man. If it was a 10-man, I don't think it would be.
Yeah, if you're playing 12-man with like 3 flexes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Felix says my most owned player this year is going to be Pat Bryant. He also said we should look at Andrew Armstrong as a late round stack for Dolphins. Thank you, Steve.
Going another running back right here, spread if he's there.
Steve says Pat Bryant is a fun late round click. And Steve also wants to point out that our Khalil Herbert isn't fair because Khalil got injured. Tim says, shout out to Alfred Blue. It's a throwback. Yeah, I was trying to remember him because he got blown up by J.J. Watt like on Hard Knocks over and over again.
Oh, I remember that.
Steve says there is a difference in trading during the season versus off season. True. All right. Who'd you pick?
Ray Davis. We need a running back. Where else were we going? Were we drafting Eckler? Were we drafting Dylan Sampson, who's an RB3? Algier.
Maybe we could have taken Romeo Dobbs.
We have 6 wide receivers. We had 4 running backs.
We could take Braylon Allen.
No.
No. Steve's always taking your side. He says, I like the Ray Davis pick. All right.
I sent you that news article. If James Cook holds out or gets traded, we are golden.
All right. Can I name the 2016 Texans backfield running back chart without looking it up? I will try right now.
we're up in one before you get going in this
All
spiel. You want to take Strange as our tight end too?
I want Braylon Allen.
All right, we'll do Braylon Allen, and we'll just
All right.
pray to the gods.
Let me see if I can. Who was that one dude name? It's like David Johnson.
It's Arian Foster, Dara Dubawale, and I got to use the bathroom.
I'll bet you Steve can. Steve says I don't mind Braylon Allen, but Davis is going to be on a far better offense, some more scoring chances. Yeah, you're probably right. I'm probably being stubborn there. All right. I should ask him to leave the live board up, but let me think of some other draft takeaways. I feel bad for certain players. Just get if you get drafted to the Browns, you're just so screwed. There's just a consistently terrible organization. So for Mason Graham, right? Give me a quality player.
Our buddy Tim in the chat did not think I was going to throw out a Dara Dubawale name.
Did you get it right?
I think so.
I don't even remember that. I can't even pronounce that. I thought he was daring you to eat something hot.
I think I'll look it up just to make sure, but I'm pretty sure he was there.
All right.
2016.
How many picks do we got left? We're gonna have to push rundown back, huh?
No, this is they cut the draft shorter now.
No, not in this one.
They did. Oh no, this one's still 20. Underdog, they cut him.
Yeah, Underdog did.
Lamar Miller, that's the name I'm forgetting.
All right, I'm gonna switch our NBA rundown to what? 215.
That's fine.
All right.
So it was Lamar Miller, Alfred Blue, Tyler Irving, Jonathan Grimes, Akeem Hunt, and Jay Prosh. So no, Dara Dubawale was not in that running back room yet.
So
remember
crazy.
Dameon Pierce?
Yeah, I do remember him because I was so mad I didn't draft him one year.
And then we drafted him all the next
every year after that, and he's been terrible.
Good old Lamar Miller. I'm pretty sure he was a first-round draft fantasy pick that year in Houston. He did nothing. All right, we're up in 2 picks. Up in 1. Let me get pulled back over. Devin Neal or Terrence Ferguson?
Your choice. I don't care.
I don't know which. What about Devin Neal? Because we got Olave.
Because don't we want to try? Is Cole Kmet's gone though? We missed Kmet, right? Check real quick on tight end.
No, he's 223. Spread. He fell off a cliff when they drafted Loveland.
Do we only have one tight end right now though?
Yes.
We probably want 3 because it's not like we did good there.
We're gonna come back around.
And we need one more quarterback too, right?
Yeah, we have 4 more picks, so we need 2 tight ends.
We should probably look into quarterback pretty soon. It's gonna fall off a cliff. Who was the last quarterback taken? Can you scroll down a little bit?
We had Dart, Rogers, Pickett, Shador, Shaw, Mason.
We're already fucked. I mean, we're already messed up.
280 spread right here.
We might as well just wait because none of those guys are
our last pick in the draft.
We can take Joe Milton.
No, he's not number 280. He's 323.
You really want Will Howard?
And he's quarterback 3. Pray to God he gets in at the end of the year.
Do you think there's a chance Rodgers just doesn't play?
Yeah.
What will me and Meg argue about then?
Travis Hunter's target share.
But I kind of conceded that because at Jacksonville, he's definitely going to get a lot. What's the tight end room looking like right now?
Rough.
Do we want to grab Schultz then?
Yeah, either Schultz or Chig.
Let's grab Schultz.
Get some Schultz right after this guy picks. Let him take them. And he took Pat Bryant. There he is.
We should have done that. Well, whatever.
Our guy Steve's in on Tyler Shaw. I understand.
Probably
why
gonna get 10 to 12 starts and no one else is.
He might not even be in on him as much as he's looking at our roster with Olave, Devin Neal, and he's like, just take Shaw for the correlation.
And the fact that who else is on that remaining list who's going to even start that much? Maybe
that is true. I like that idea over Will Howard if we can get him as our quarterback 3. I mean, where's he falling in at 215?
Let's look at Shuck. Yeah, that correlation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Way more attractive.
At first, I thought he was just winging it, and then I thought back. I was like, oh, he fits. Spread, what's your opinion on the prank call?
Nothing. I have no opinion.
I think it's absolutely hilarious.
I was like, who cares? People are.
I think it's even funnier.
They need to be fined. It's what he's talking about.
It's even funnier the fact that they called him and said he had to wait, and then like he's trying to figure out if it's a prank call or not.
I didn't actually see it. I just know it happened.
And then they drafted a different quarterback with that pick. So it was like while you're trying to like mentally figure out what's going on, they draft a different quarterback. So you're like, was that a real phone call? Like, did that dude just basically tell me he was just not picking me?
Bro, I take a lot of L's because, I come on here and I'm pretty opinionated. That Sanders L is pretty tough to carry. I mean, how wrong was I?
He could still be good.
I don't know.
I think he could still be
good.
Because
right now it's the whole NFL telling me that I'm wrong, right? Like
I think it's also
you have no idea what you're talking about. Bro.
It's also just the compilation of he's in a bad quarterback draft class where Cam Ward, even being the best guy, didn't look like he was like head and shoulders, like just way ahead of everyone.
Yeah. He
was competing with the likes of Tyler Shaw, Ewers, Milroe, and Howard and these guys. But he told himself he was competing with Cam Ward when there was no competing there.
Well, the thing is, I think if he showed up and actually did what a normal human being would do in a job interview, I think
he botches the interviews. He doesn't do the combine. He doesn't do the pro day.
Yeah.
All those things combined, wouldn't you just draft the other guys in the group that you've seen ahead of him?
A lot of teams didn't think he was coachable, so they did this one where they said,
he doesn't look coachable. He doesn't do any drills.
Yeah, and they found his worst interception. What they thought. Let's go to the draft board real quick, and then we'll continue this.
Quarterback or tight end?
Quarterback.
Just take Shaw's gone.
Daniel Jones.
When did he go?
Right before us. Yeah.
Well, he went around before a while.
All right. So from what I heard, they pulled up his worst interception, right? And they said, explain to us what happened on this play, right?
Like you or me would be
like the wide receiver for running the wrong route. You and I'd be like, you know what, that was a bad read. I can definitely do better. This throw was definitely a learning experience, and we highlighted it in the tape, and I'll be working to avoid that. But then you like blame the wide receiver when it was clearly your fault. And then I heard a different team did the same thing they did to Jamarcus Russell. And then who's the other one I read that was doing it?
Well, where they gave him the tape and sent him home and asked him questions when he came back.
Yeah, and it was like a Home Alone DVD or something.
Oh,
who was the other one? I read someone else that they were putting money in the playbook. And the guy wasn't pulling the money out, so they knew he wasn't looking at it. All right. Let's see what Steve had to say. Well, we'll make our pick and then we'll see what Steve
Take Juwan Johnson here as our other tight end if you want.
We don't want to wait for Komet. We lose him?
Tim or Komet.
Let's grab Komet. We didn't get Shuck, so.
My worry, though, is Loveland's going to take a lot of the target shares. Like, Juwan Johnson could just get so many more looks.
Yeah, but if Loveland gets hurt week 2, we're going to have hella correlation with the guy that's proven to do it. All right, let's check out what Steve has to say. Steve said, 1-for-1, I'd be taking Shuck over Dart right now. I think Shuck will play more games this year. Yeah, I agree. There's no reason for Dart to start. So, and I think that Loomis and Carr are just not happy with each other. Steve said the issue is Shedeur Sanders is a second-round talent, but he didn't win any favors by not being prepared. And there'll be extra drama around him versus most second and third round QB. That's exactly it. Same reason with Tebow, right? Tebow was one of the top 64 quarterbacks.
And you could tell, like, in that Browns draft room when they drafted him, like, they didn't want to.
You could tell they got told.
Well, so it was like Stefanski wanted him, Barry didn't.
Stefanski did want him, you think?
Stefanski was sitting there. Like, if you watch the video, Stefanski's sitting there clapping like he's happy. And Barry's just staring at the screen, just pissed. So that tells me that they were split on that. And they also drafted Dylan Gabriel, so it seems like Barry wanted Dylan Gabriel, Stefanski wanted Shedeur.
How could you want Dylan Gabriel?
That was I find that so funny because somebody even put out the tweet. They were like, I love the fact that like Dylan Gabriel's the pick that everyone goes, all right, now some funny shit's going on.
Bro, I mean, seriously though.
How you draft a DoorDash driver ahead of Shedeur?
Dude. Dylan Gabriel might not even be good in preseason.
Dylan Gabriel sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
Dylan Gabriel might be Desmond Ridder with a name change and just hurry up and ran back to college to try and get back in the NFL.
Clyde, I don't know what you're saying. The money one was in money, all I thought.
He said Moneyball. He thought it was that from that movie.
Was it? No, I read it. It was someone that we would know. It was like a famous offensive coordinator. It might have been whoever was dealing with Manziel.
Whoever was in Cleveland.
Yeah. Yeah, taking Gabriel. I mean, that's a wasted pick. When there's a lot of good players in that third round too, right, Steve?
Oh, yeah.
To just throw away a pick like that? I mean, he's not even going to make the team.
You're ready to throw away our 20th round pick?
Are we there yet?
Uh-huh.
Are we in round 20?
Yeah, we're on the board.
Who did we decide was our round 20 pick?
Roman Wilson, the fake person from Pittsburgh.
Fair enough. Let's do it. All right, guys. That was a fun show. Are we going back to Tuesday next week, Tyler? Do you want to stick to Wednesdays or what?
Doesn't matter to me. Whatever works better for you.
I could do either. Let's go back to Tuesdays.
Okay.
All right. So we'll be on Tuesday next week. We're going to do 1 Eastern again or 4 Eastern again.
Works for me.
All right. That's the plan for right now. We'll tweet if something changes. Guys, remember the show is brought to you by fanspeak.com. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel right now. If you guys watched, we had a fun show. I was in a suit looking dapper.
I wish I could have joined that show.
500. I wasn't on for very long. But we're at 513 right now. So if you have friends who like fantasy football, send them. I actually have a friend that got mad at me because I wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders with pick 6 overall, and he told me if that happened, he was going to unsubscribe from Fanspeak because he was so pissed at me for saying that. But fortunately, we're safe. So that subscription's still there. We're still at 513. Keep trying to promote the channel, please. We're trying to grow this. And as you can see, this best ball streaming content, it's just something new in the space. It's something small. Like, for example, NBA betting. I mean, in NFL betting, there's so many shows. Still, it feels like a community where we all kind of know each other here on this best ball. So we're glad to have you be a part of our draft. Please subscribe to the Fanspeak Network. Please check out fanspeak.com. Andrew and Justin will be live later tonight. So we're not done drafting yet. They'll be over on the old underdog. We're the cool cats on DraftKings. Anything you got to say, Tyler, before I hit the outro?
No, I'm going to second everything you said. Definitely subscribe to the channel. They got to be here for when we have our little barbershop arguments about this guy over that guy, then the victory laps. I mean, it's all fun here, so definitely subscribe.
Yeah. And to quote a great man, genius, take us the F out of here.